Good Erev Rosh Hashanah. I'll say l'chaim when the froth is more tolerable. I think I'm going to jump into a mimer of the Mittler Rebbe's Siddur Imdach, Shara Techiyas. You're supposed to learn this if you're going to blow the shofar, which I'm probably going to end up blowing for somebody. Please God. You have to learn this mimer, the Mittler Rebbe, in the Alter Rebbe's Siddur it's called. His son wrote commentary. So he has Shara Techiyas, and in there I want to jump into the middle, just because. Hello, good Erev Yom Tov, good Erev Shabbos. Oh my goodness, Sean, you made it. Wow. That's awesome. And also Luz, welcome. So, Luz Bone, the 18th vertebrae or the 19th? Is it like the indestructible vertebrae that we're going to be recreated from somehow? So I'm just going to read from the top of this page because I remember the introduction is very long and it speaks about really cool, very transcendental things, and it takes a long explanation. Explain a master-disciple relationship that teaches you about your relationship with Bestie himself, God. But I just want to jump in the middle because my eyes took me there, and I think I might be able to actually make sense of it. Please God. Chaim. Shabbat Shalom. So on Rosh Hashanah, everyone knows that it's all about Binyan HaMalchus. I finally have a break, L'chaim. That's perfect timing with me. The perfect time to take a break, L'chaim. So we are supposed to evoke in God Binyan HaMalchus. Good Erev Shabbos. Good Erev Yom Tov. Good Erev everything. V'nimtza muvan al kapani be'ikar be'chinas midas HaMalchus shehu inyan hisnasus. So we have to understand what is kingship, what is malchus that we're trying to arouse in God, the desire to continue bothering with us mortals. So this process, this Kabbalistic process of Binyan HaMalchus, requires us to achieve within us humility expressed by the cry of the shofar, which is made of not only of a part of an animal, but the aspect of the animal that's actually mineral, the horn, which is the lowest possible, the mineral aspect of, because it's like a rock, is horn. So Malchus is expressed by blowing the shofar, which is the ram's horn. And this is supposed to be like the beautiful parable of the Baal Shem Tov, how the son goes off to learn in Harvard and he forgets even his language. He forgot his culture. He mixed with other people. He forgot who he was, the prince. And then he goes back to the palace and he can't even speak the language anymore. Good Erev Rosh Hashanah. And he just cries out. That's the cry of the shofar. And hopefully his father, the king, will remember the sound of his voice. Or if you remember, I told that at length. So we are trying to understand why through bittul, why through this cry from the depths. It's not even language. It's an animal and it's a sound from the thing, and this evokes Binyan HaMalchus. That's what creates the way the construct for the year is established on Rosh Hashanah. The head of the year, you're going to put the program in for the year. This is it. This is the juice that you're taking with you if you're on a desert island, or a deserted island, a desert island, and you have like 10 things. What are you going to get? Or 12 things in this case. There's 12 months of the year. So you're going to get 12 things. What are you going to bring with you? You want to prepare in advance. That's the cry of the shofar. It evokes Binyan HaMalchus. God wants to rule in the world. He wants to have something to do with us vibrating atoms in space. Wow. Okay, we have consciousness. I think the most significant thing about a person is consciousness, very simply. The fact that you could think. The fact that itself, and therefore that makes your relationships the most important connection you could have. To this Erev Yom Kippur, which is not now, I realize I'm just starting to work on my l'chaim. You're supposed to do birchas abanim. You're supposed to bless your children. And I always felt like, well, what do you mean I'm supposed to bless my father would do this thing with the triangle every Friday night. Didn't matter if it was dark or not. He would do this beautifully. And that's all I know. And that's easy to do. But you're supposed to say personal words to your children and bless them on Erev Yom Kippur. And I was saying to myself, okay, this year I'm completely different. I came out of the Corona hotel, a different person completely. I was right when I said that Corona, we're not coming out of this the same. Okay, it wasn't as, I know it's getting worse, but I don't buy it anymore. I'm sorry. I don't buy the fear factor. That's what I want to do away with there. So, we're coming out of this as a different type of person. How am I going to approach the concept? If I really genuinely want to bless my children, what am I going to say? As a Baal Tshuva, I don't know. My father never told me. I don't know what to. I have to make it up myself. Nobody ever told me. I'm not asking anybody at this point in my life. Sorry. So what am I going to say? So I thought about it for a second. I said, I'm going to tell all the children the same thing. I have 7 boys and a girl. Okay? I'm going to tell them all the same thing. And I don't want to say the negative part of it, but you could figure out the negative part of it that could telepathically be communicated, but, just by inference. So, the thing that I would want to bless my children with is, I want to be close with you this year. What could be more important than that? The whole consciousness of God himself is invested in our relationships, because our consciousness is really all we have. So when we are interacting with other people and are actually sincere and wholesome and good and have integrity, and we want we care about their interests too, that is really the ultimate expression of holiness. Let's face it. It's not about the guy on the mountaintop, and it's not about the guy that only chops down trees and has no... He's a hard worker, but that's about it. He doesn't really have any depth. You need to have a balance of both, obviously. So that balance of both is expressed in our relationships. That is the ultimate godly expression in this world. If you have meaningful relationships with the people around you, that's what Corona is meant to teach you. We're done. We got the lesson. Thank you, bestie. Good, sweet year to you. We've got the message, bestie. Thank you. I learned it. It's the most important lesson I've learned in my whole life. Have meaningful relationships. Be close with people that are close to you. Don't care about strangers. Okay, you care about them. But don't waste your time. I know I'm the biggest social media guy of all, because I want to have meaningful relationships with a lot of people. How? I want to inspire people to have the best Rosh Hashanah ever, and therefore everything falls into place from there. The head of the year is good, everything else follows. My uncle would tell me, he would do this thing with the claw, I forget how his hand would make, but he would make like a wrestler, and the claw. You control the head, you control the body. You want to control the whole year? Have a good Rosh Hashanah. Say l'chaim. Chaim. So I wanted to learn a little Chassidus because that is my greatest pleasure in life. And I want, if you have the time to be able to sit with me and learn a few words of this. It's about binyan and malchus. It's about relating to the concept of majesty, of royalty, of dignity, of rule, which is what we're doing. We're trying to, God, we want you to rule again. Don't don't sell the ownership of the hotel to someone else. Hotel California, we want it, but we just want it for you, bestie. We want the Hotel California, but we want it for you. Listen to that song. What is it about? Oh my goodness. I hate the song because I've heard it too many times, so I hate it. But Hotel California is about everything that you go through every day. The desire to have the wisdom to know that hedonism is a prison. And the way out of that is very, very simple. Put besties, Hotel California, put the word bestie before Hotel California, perfect. You got it right. But with certain, Besti has a certain way about him. He's a king that's dignified and has this distaste for things that are beneath dignity. So that is the particular to call it a fetish would be weird, but it's just because it's the one where everything else is a deviation from that. The proper relationship with Hashem has fidelity towards a certain doctrine, which is not very offensive. Take any other doctrine in the world, I'll find it offensive. Okay? Judaism, I don't find offensive. If you understand it properly and you see how it's implemented in a general way, it's perfect compared to other religions, I would say, because it leads to a nicely ruled world, a world based on justice. It's just an obvious thing, and it's not so bad. If everyone kept it, it would be pretty good. I promise you. There wouldn't be any wars. There wouldn't be anything bad. We don't really revel in tyranny or aggression or violence. We don't revel in that. That's not what we're about. Is what I'm going to read you now. Oh my goodness, Menachem. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I could do it for long because I really want to get on. I just feel like we totally rock, which is cool. But
Shanatoma! Yeah! I love it!
I'm getting serious, Menachem. I'm in a serious mode.
I'm sorry, man. I'm so jovial. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be. Maybe I should be depressed.
Sorry. I like it.
Should I be depressed?
I like it
oh, God. Life is so horrible. I don't know if I can do this anymore.
It's not. It's incredible. That's exactly why I'm afraid to get immersed in that amazing comedy that we have together. I just love it.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna have to go. I gotta get out of here. This is no. It's no place for me. I should be here. Erev Rosh Hashanah. It's a time of seriousness. Some serious judgment going on.
I haven't been like I'm not fire and brimstoning anyone.
Look, man, it's all right. I'm gonna go to hell first. I'll bring you with me. I'll hold on. You can hold on my ankle. You say, Menachem, try to save me from hell. Not really. I'm not going to hell. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be a good year. May you be blessed. All your problems, everything, may you be blessed really good.
Yom Kippur, and no.
Gadlanu, Gachmanu, Shamarnu.
Shamarnu? Okay.
Sharmanu.
Charmanu? What, we squeeze the Charmin?
It's our Charmin. Sharmanu. All good, man. You're so serious. Look at you. You're like so serious.
No, I'm not so serious. I'm just in the middle of a mimer. Or just about to.
I need to get serious. I've been a fool. It's a year of foolishness. I need to get serious.
I'm getting right into the Shard Tekiyas.
What's that?
The Mittler Rebbe's Chassidus on blowing the shofar and what it's about. You're supposed to do binyan malchus. You're supposed to build the whole year. And that's comprised of 10 aspects. Okay, I was saying 12 before, but it's really 10. You got to make, well, it's really 9. You got to have the 9 into malchus. We're supposed to make good Erev Rosh Hashanah. So we're going to learn in this mimer about malchus. It's a bit philosophical. And do you want to?
Is that the question? What is malchus?
Malchus is the way God's going to rule the world that particular year is expressed by on the head of the year in the program of the year, which is Rosh Hashanah. Everybody knows that. It's like a basic fundamental thing. But the question,
if we're low energy, if we're low energy right now, then we're not giving the year of the malchus it needs.
Well, God gives us the energy, and it's evoked from the inspiration we generate it throughout the whole year by our own process of becoming genuine on Rosh Hashanah and crying out as an expression of that from the shofar. Crying out from the shofar, that's expressive of the most essential connection you have. Any expression
go into
verbal.
Should we go in the depths of our sadness, as our soul, how rent our soul is, and how tormented we are, and
No, chas v'chalila.
Mhm.
Chas v'chalila.
Love
Go
tequila. Oh, we thought it was like
bestie.
screaming soul.
Yeah,
Existence is horrible. What is it? It's a soul crying soul. You want to go home?
you're just saying, Tati, I'm home. I'm home.
I'm home. Tati, I'm home. Come
Come
home.
take me. We want. Let's celebrate.
Tati, I'm home. Okay, man.
Coming home.
I gotta go. I gotta get you all dressed. I gotta take a shower and stuff. I gotta get ready. You know, all your fans know that.
An hour before.
I want all your fans to know that I am getting ready, prepared to see the king coming home. I gotta look good for daddy. We're all coming home, right?
All right.
You coming home? You coming home?
Anatova.
Shana Tova to you, man. I love you. And I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you publicly in front of all these people watching right now for forgiveness, because I know I did something that offended you in some way. I must have.
If there was such a thing, you would obviously be forgiven. L'chaim.
Okay. Thank you. L'chaim, man. I forgive you, man.
It's
You're
all
good.
about,
You're good friend.
we're here together now. L'chaim.
We're here together now. We're here together now. Now. Okay, man. Take care. Bye, everybody. Bye. This guy is awesome. Rabbi Merkur is so cool. That's why I come on, because he's the only people I'd be seen with publicly. Besides my wife.
Sean's here.
Who is?
Sean's our friend.
Hi, Sean. What's up? Sean. Sean's our friend. Do I know Sean?
I think we've forbringed one time. Maybe.
I forbring with Sean.
I don't know.
Is that you, Sean?
On this bat channel.
Oh, it was a virtual Farbrengen.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
These days.
All right, man. It's all good.
Oh.
Virtual Farbrengen. Shana Tova to you, Sean. Shana Tova to all the people on your channel here. I see Sabatisto, Vital. I see Eris. I see, I don't know. Who do you see?
I don't know.
You don't know who you see? I see you, man. I see Boruch Merkur, man. Rabbi Merkur. This guy got me married. He changed my life.
Yes.
He introduced me to my wife. Dude, thank you. You changed my life. In some way, you're a part of my life change. You're a part of my life change. I'm going to remember that this Rosh Hashanah. And you should be judged in the skus of what you've done for me. You should be blessed forever.
Oh, man. It's a beautiful process.
In the skus of my relationship with you, we should be blessed. This joy, we bring joy to so many people. And we'll continue to do so. I want joy in your life. I want to see you smile more. I love it when you smile. Okay, man. Take care. Happy Rosh Hashanah.
Take care. Okay, so we're in the middle of this mimer. Well, I'm jumping into the middle, but we haven't started it here. The main aspect of this majesty, this rule that you're creating, this kingship, which is the whole concept of elevating oneself over the nation. Ki ein melech b'layam, as it said, that there is no king without a nation. The king requires a nation that says, I want to rule my country in line with your plan. That's what made David HaMelech so special. That's all he cared about. He wanted God's kingdom on earth. Sounds like a Lenny Kravitz song. Nasus al am ki ein melech b'layam hare v'hachrich sheyesh am b'v'chinas yesh. There has to be some kind of what has been called ego, some sense of self-concept. That's called yesh. And you need to have that. There has to be a nation to be able to appreciate that there's a king of the world, which is really transcendent of everything, and inclusive of everything, so that you yourself who's recognizing this is really, in its core, you are, of course, divinity, because there is only divinity. So when you get in touch with your core, that's expressive of breaking away the boundaries which have kept us apart with that reality. That reality is expressive. It's seen as when we allow it to guide us. Therefore, we know we're aligned with the divinity. So to be cognizant of that is a meditation. So this is part of that meditation, to realize what is Malchus. That is that your consciousness itself is dependent upon a king that creates it. So you have this consciousness, and when you want to accept the king on Rosh Hashanah, what you do is you simply say, it's a very simple procedure. You acknowledge in yourself, God, I love your plan and I want to devote myself to it. That plan, of course, is the terrorists. It's simple instructions and what makes a Jewish life a worthy life. And it's not so radical or crazy. I might be radical crazy, but the Torah is not. It's the definition of sanity and justice and everything good. So anything that diverges from that is called sitra achra, the other side. So we're saying that your self-concept is dependent upon, or analogous to a nation who accepts upon themselves a king by receiving the yoke of heaven, that you want to do it in line with God's will. Just like we see about a worldly king, that there's a mitzvah to have a king. You have to actually willingly accept your leader. The election's coming up. There is a democracy, in a sense, about Jewish sovereignty, kingship. It's defined by the willing acceptance of the nation. That's what allows there to be a king. So that is a type of democratic sentiment. It has to be specifically of your volition and will and your knowledge. And if it's not willing, then it's not a king. There is no king of this country. The whole definition of the word king is something that's accepted by the nation as an obvious desire that they want this person as their ruler. This person represents the interest of our nation in the most dignified way possible. That is our king. That the nation receives this king willingly, to totally devote themselves to what God's plan is with the world, and therefore run your kingdom in line with his. The kol asher yimra es piv, you must. And there's no debate about this. If you want to go against, you're not with us. That's the way it is in the king in the physical world. But that teaches us about the transcendental concept of majesty. Malchus d'Rekia. Hine bechinas haaras midas malchus detzilus eine el yedei kabbalas el malchus shemayim. I don't understand this. It says, but malachim u'neshamis, baratzim mesiras nefesh, by angels and souls. I didn't know angels were important to God. They came first in this equation. By angels and souls, baratzim, willingly to accept God's kingship, the mesiras nefesh, with self-sacrifice, davko, specifically something that's putting yourself out to express your appreciation and devotion to God. That's my best translation of mesiras nefesh, because I don't think it means necessarily throwing yourself, God forbid, into the fire. It means being prepared to do what it takes to bring God's plan out, even if it's not always the most comfortable thing in the world. Like this tie, for example. Finally, we're going to go for the casual look. So I just find it fascinating that Malachim are part of this equation. God, so angels, I always thought, were secondary to Jewish souls. I mean, that's what I was taught in the Alter Rebbe's Tanya and everything. And so here it puts them first. That's what causes Malchus. Okay, it doesn't here necessarily refer to the preciousness of the service, but more so about what evokes this particular illumination, or probably is terms that make more sense to us in our culture, is energy. We think in terms of energy these days more than light. We don't. I would think that that's so. Light is difficult for us to understand in the concept of Kabbalah, I think, compared to the idea of energy, because you see things that are mechanized. It's very obvious to us. Energy is something that's quantifiable and storable, not like they had in the olden days when they had whatever energy is. When the mill's blowing now, then my thing's going to get grinded. Midas Malchus, the light of the quality of Malchus and Atzilus. It's from the receiving of the yoke heaven by Malachim, by angels, and the Shamas V'ratzim and Sirs Nefesh Daf Malchus V'ratzim Kiblu Aleim. It says their kingship willingly they received upon them. His kingship, rather. This puts the crown on Malchus. So you've created Malchus that's crowned by accepting it willingly. Because from, this is the mechanics of what's happening in Rosh Hashanah. It's a spiritual articulation of devotion, which is prayer. And it's called in Chassidus, Hiserus Ratzain, the arousal of a will. Milmata, from our world, from our conscious, wherever we are, wherever our heads are. Lebchinas Malchus, arousing the ability or the desire for God to rule. Malchus. You're going to, by reaching out to this aspect of Malchus, this arouses from above Ratzain, supernal will. So we've devoted our will below in this physical world to devoting ourselves to God, and God reciprocates with what is called Ratzain Ha'elyon, supernal will, but Minas Hamlucha, in the aspect, because there's 10 different aspects of kingship, the 10th of the last one, Visnasus, and there's another word for it, we call it exaltedness, elevating, being elevated. Which means to say that there should be the will in the emanator, the one who gives all the energy to the world, with this, into this quality of kingship, Hanikra Malchus, Hanikra Keser Malchus. This process is called the crowning of the king, or the crown of the king. It's a coronation. That's what Rosh Hashanah is. It's a coronation. So it's festive. It's like Shabbos. So Shabbos and the thing, it goes beautifully together. In fact, it says that is the blowing of the shofar, is the pleasure you have on Shabbos through physical things, which is a mitzvah on Shabbos. That is tantamount to what's evoked through blowing the shofar when you can blow the shofar. That's why it was okay for, I think it was Rabbi, or was it Rava, who made the decree, not lest you carry it 4 cubits in the public domain. And to ask someone, how do I do it? Do I hold it this way or this way? If you might run out in the street with carrying it and forget that you're not allowed to carry it Shabbos unless there's an error. Okay. So it's a simple process. You express your devotion to the king. That's the coronation, because that's the definition of coronation. Because a melech is dependent to be a king. Otherwise, it's called a meishel, a tyrant. Okay? A king is one that is willingly accepted. V'huni kra keser malchus, and that's a beautiful expression about the crown of the king, or of kingship. Ki yedua b'bir hadvarim hinei ha'aderech mashal b'nefesh ha'adam. And to explain this process, we're going to give an analogy of the soul of a person. The entire way you use the resources of your character, which has 10 aspects, depends upon something called will. The thing that we are giving to God, we're giving our devotion to God, and God's giving us Ratzon Elyon to rule over us and to celebrate with us. That's why we dress up. We know we're going to be victorious in the sukkah. We hold the lulav to express that. So the way to direct energy is through a force called will. It's the Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker thing. The force. It's will. How are you going to use your energy? That's the force, really, isn't it? Whatever faculties you have at your fingertips, whatever resources, whatever technology you can tap away on the keyboard and can command the whole world through a few clicks of a button. You know, what was the password for the nuclear warfare? I think it was 000. Thanks. That would have taken me a long time to guess. If I had to guess, actually, that would be the last thing you'd do, unless you're just like sitting there tapping. You don't know, what am I gonna? And then you got it. Oops. There it goes. Okay. I guess that's a bit weird. Okay, so you have a soul, and that's energy. You have a will that is able to direct that energy. Wow, what a great power will is. That's our free choice, is expressed by where are we going to direct our will. Our will does something very simple. It draws energy into the pipes. Which pipe is it going to go to? Where is our fascination, our attention? Where are we going to be present? And then it adds something. It doesn't stop there. One's qualities are only expressed. Freud was right. It's not just will. It's not Nietzsche's will to power. It's not just that, but Freud has a say in the whole scheme of things. The tainug, pleasure, the pleasure principle. That's what determines what your character is. What do you take pleasure in? Do you take pleasure in helping old people? I think that is the most, I just have this dream of being cool enough to realize to make an old person smile is better than making another decimal place on your, so it doesn't mean that I'm going to do that. I hope I do. I hope I do. People, the children, the students in the yeshivas, they go out and they reach out to other people, try and make them happy and try and teach them about something meaningful. They take their time to do that. I respect that so much. And I hope that this is my outlet. It's just more convenient for me. So you have two things that direct. Your soul has energy, and there's two things that direct it. It didn't mention energy here, by the way. It's just simply called hispastus amidus. Which aspects of your character are going to be expressed and how. That's dependent on two things: will and pleasure. Which invests itself within them. So that determines where you're going to direct it. Is this energy that invests itself within them? It's the nature of the good to want to do good to others, and his expression of his kindness. Sachamas sichum means like in total. Bahatabas chesed in this direction of this particular act or this quality of benevolence, this goodness. Mitam hakamus l'ritzainai. This is getting a bit hard. Maybe this will be a good time to say good Yom Tov. Eina meitiv klal ken b'midas hanitzuach b'tiferes kagavno hakol toloi lefi erech haaretz haratzain. This applies to other qualities, not just benevolence, but also victory, beauty, and the like. Beauty is balance. It's the ability to recognize there's importance for being severe and there's importance to being benevolent. And to be able to quantify that and balance it properly, beauty. And we saw that with David Melech's brilliant eyes that forgave or pardoned his ruddy complexion, which was unappealing. Yet the combination made a beauty that surpassed regular beauty. And that's, in fact, how Chassidus define, or I don't remember the source for that. Could have been a Malvin for all I know. No. It was, I think, a commentary on, I think it was Kabbalah. Anyways, I don't really remember. So we're just defining a process how will directs energy into different character traits, will and pleasure. Okay, so I think we're setting that up as how the mechanics of evoking in God the desire to rule the world, which is what Rosh Hashanah is all about, affects that. Because our will, we're giving to God, so God gives back. Thank you very much. I'm going to give it right back to you in kingship. I'm going to let you rule, because you represent me now. I'm going to let you rule the world. In my name. Rosh Hashanah is, you want to rule? Here's the doctrine to rule by. You accept that, and you will rule. That's why you're going to be blessed with all these physical things in order to implement that strategy, which is totally in line with the Kavanah Elyena, the ultimate tachlis and the ultimate purpose for all of creation, is simply to run the world according to the Torah, not according to Marxism, socialism, fascism, capitalism, nothing like that. But all those things, exactly how you'd align them according to a divine law. So line up all that. Those are spectrums that are just descriptive of different styles of rule. But you have to rule somehow. There can't be complete anarchy because we're not animals. We will have some kind of hierarchy. Always. And therefore, what is it going to be? You want to know how to balance it? That's Torah. So you accept that on Rosh Hashanah, and that causes you to be representative of God throughout the year, and therefore you have to have all the resources directed to you so you can implement that plan and live up to what you said. And it all depends on a very simple thing, having a good heart. So looking deep inside ourselves and finding the goodness actually be expressive of who we are in our core, which is good people, that we're not interested in retaliation and reparations and feeling sorry for us, embracing trauma. That's not our thing. Our thing is simply moving forward with what do we do now to make this world more majestic. Okay, if you have to have affirmative action and all those things, fine. Just work out the details of those things. Don't bully people to accept your reparation claims. Be reasonable. Accept precedence is the only way to go by, and try and improve on it a little bit at a time. If you get too radical, Hegel will go crazy with you and tell you you're going to have a pendulum swing too fast. It's going to fly around the thing on top. Fine. Incremental change is infinite, because you have to just see this is part of the process. Live in the now. And that moment that you conquered yourself and ate one less Oreo cookie, then you know you should have done it. And then tonight, what are we going to be eating? Okay, I bought all the ice cream you can imagine. I hope I don't have more than like a taste, if that. Okay, we have to have honey, so it's a mitzvah today. The mitzvah b'yom dvash. The mitzvah of the day is in honey. Good sweet year I bench everyone with. I thought that was sweet. I'm going to put my bookmark. I have a bookmark in Shar Yom Kippur. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to hopefully maybe learn a little bit more of that. That was leading to the whole intention that you're supposed to have when blowing the shofar. Defining that by what is the shofar? It's representing your will. What is your will saying? Bestie, I love you and I want to serve you the whole year. That's what you're saying. That's the cry out, I'm home. That's the cry out, Bestie, I'm home. Anila Deidi Li. You just have this really good relationship with the creator of the world, or Bestie as I call him. And that leads God simply says, of course the resources will be directed towards those people, you know, of health and wealth and love and everything that you want. Okay, I started with relationships. I want to end with relationships. Chaim, you should have closer relationships with all the people around you, because that is expressive of the ultimate divinity. The best Kabbalah is simply about a good relationship. And what does it look like? That's all Judaism is to me. And Elul expresses it best. And we're coming out now of Elul into Tishrei tonight. It's Tishrei, first of Tishrei. So I forgot where I am in Tehillim for the day. I got to really start focusing. Okay, have a good Yom Tov. Shana Tehillim Sukkah. Thanks for tuning in. And I hope everyone celebrates. We're supposed to be confident that God is going to give us the best year ever, no matter, even from the Ashpa Rabbi Ginsburg was posting about. And I was going to make a whole shir about that. Maybe I'll do it later. Chaim, good Shabbos, good Yom Tov.